Okay guys, this is Michael Yednak here at Amsterdam Billiards. We're watching Efren Reyes and Fedor Gorst play an 8-ball match. This is a race to 5, alternate break. Fedor won the lag, so Fedor will have the opening break. If you guys have had a chance to check out the 9-ball, this was the second part of day 2 where they played 8-ball. Now Fedor steps to the table. He's got the 3-ball in the side and can attack this problem with the 2, the 9, and the 4. And he's got insurance with the 7. He just has to narrowly miss the 11 and go into the cluster and open it up. All right, brilliant execution, brilliant thought process. Has the insurance ball and has solved a lot of the problem by executing that first shot. Now, just to get in the inside of what's possible here, he can play position off the 7 for the 4-9-2 combination. He can play position off the 7 for the 1-ball to play the 6-9-2 combination. I think he's not quite sure exactly what option he wants yet, but he plays position to the 1. And then he's deciding on the 6-ball, the 6-9-2 combination. And then he looks down table and double checks this 4-ball and realizes that he can play a tiki on the 4, meaning hit the 4 into the rail and then into the 2, make the 4-ball, knock the 2 into a better position, and not have to second guess where the 9-ball is going, right? Sort of upgrade his percentages on fully executing the run out. He wants to draw back to the rail, land as close to the rail as possible and underneath this 4-ball. Really well executed. Now when he plays this 4, he wants to roll the cue ball with follow, go to the long rail, and then come back up probably 2.5 diamonds, having position on the 6-ball in the lower right corner and the 2-ball in the lower left corner. Okay, another quality executed shot, bumped the 2 out nicely. And now he's just going to make this 6-ball with a little bit of right English, try to come into the 8, preferably missing the 8, and find the window between the 8 and 13. He'll play the 2 in the lower left corner, and then I'll have the 8-ball in the upper right corner or the side pocket. He'll go ahead and opt to play position and play the 8-ball on the side. With that, guys, I have a moment, so I'm going to thank Jacoby Custom Cues, Motif Projector Software. I'll thank Talm Billiard Products and Elvis from In the Box Sporting Apparel. And lastly, with great graciousness and a wonderful room, the CEO, Greg Hunt, for putting on this wonderful exhibition. Okay, unfortunately, Efren came up dry. Fedor steps to the table and he decides to shoot a force follow shot, probably trying to stay on the left side for the 14-ball. But he ends up brushing the 10-ball and congesting the balls a little bit, and now he has to play a combination shot. Now the worst part about this combination shot is not just the execution, but it's the fact that he's going to lead the 14 about where the 10 is, and the cue ball is going to come up table, and he's going to have to come back for the 14. He's essentially leaving a soldier behind and fighting the war in another area. So very dangerous when you play 8-ball to leave balls behind. You usually want to group balls together. Now obviously there's always exceptions. In this case, Fedor's going to play this stripe along the rail, draw back for position on both the 11 and the 9. You get a good opportunity to see Fedor's sweet stroke here. Landed really well on this 9-ball. Now he's also perfect on the 11. A lot of players would play the 11, but Fedor wisely chooses to play the 9-ball and bump the 6-ball out of the way of the 8-ball. That gives his 8-ball a lot more real estate for position later on. Another great decision, a little nuance that many people, even on the pro level, might miss. Fedor's nailing all these things right out the gate. Now this ball, the 11 in the corner, he's going to Z back, try to play position on the 14. Probably wants to hit the 5 square, but instead he comes underneath and gets a little bit safe on the 14, so he has to play the 11. Luckily for us viewers, we get to see an incredible recovery shot. What he's going to do is bank the 11 cross side, Play the cue ball, with a pure force follow. It'll go between the 7 and 6, hit the short rail, long rail, and then the right side of the 14 ball on the short rail and land in sweep position. Check this incredible shot out, guys. Truly, I mean, we're very lucky to get to see this stuff. Okay, so he landed perfectly on this 14 ball. He's just going to use the center, left English, inside English, and that's going to float down nicely for the 8 ball. And that'll be another bead on Fedor's board. Rightly so after that cross bank on the 11. Okay, so Fedor set the break, breaks him like a champion. Wide open rack. He's going to play the 5 in the lower right corner, natural position to the 1. With the 1 leads to the 3 in the 4 ball, and the 4 ball and the 3 ball lead to the 6 ball, his only problem ball. All he's got to do here is stay in the flow, like Mika used to say, and just stay focused. You know, don't make any unforced errors. Now, I will say when he plays the 4, he floats forward a little more than I think he'd like. So when he's playing the 6 ball, as opposed to just drawing back a little bit and playing the 7 ball, instead he's going to slide between the 7 and 8 off the 6, play position for the 2 because he has angle. We call that a stun position or a sliding position to the 2. And on the 2 ball, he ends up getting dead straight. So now he's going to use low right. The pure draw, his stroke is so big, he's going to be able to easily get to the other side of the table. The little bit of right just widens out the angle for him so he can play the side pocket easier for the 7. And just like that, guys, another rack for the great Fedor Gorst. Pretty easy layout. Didn't expect him to make any errors there. Okay, so after that rack, Efren Reyes is geared to break. He plays a good break, and the cue ball bounces around, goes off like 5 balls and scratches in the side. That's a little brutal. If you're just tuning in, this is Michael Yednak, one of the house pros in Amsterdam Billiards. You're watching the Billiardists channel, and hopefully I'll be able to put some more good content out there for you guys. But Fedor steps to the table, a lot of problems here. He's got the 5, the 7, and the 2. And what he decides to do is, with the ball in hand, address the 5 ball, attain the proper angle on the 7 to go into the 11 to open out the 2. This is an incredible sequence and a very intelligent way to attack this problem. Okay, he's perfect on the 7 to go into the 11, judging the speed and angle off the cue, pocketing the ball, hitting this 11 precisely, hitting it with enough pace to hit the 2 and knock the 2 out into play. Super, super high-end execution. And just like that, he's got position on the 6. He'll cut the 6 in, Z back to the middle of the table, probably attacking the 14. Doesn't really need to hit it, but if he does, not the worst thing. Okay, now he's got a nice 2-1 combination. He'll play this 2-1 combination. Would like to float forward a little bit for the 4 ball. That way he can float forward for the 3 ball. Unfortunately, he's on the wrong side of the floor, so we get to see another high-quality recovery shot. What he does here is play the 4 on the side with the low right-hand English. He hits the short rail, the long rail, and then the cue ball weaves between the 12 and 14, landing perfectly on this 3 ball. Okay, now on this 3 ball, depending on how thick he is, he could either draw back, low left, and get underneath the 12. He must be a little thinner on this ball than that because he chooses to punch it over or slide it over to the right, just to the right of the 14 ball. This is a really good punch shot. Again, Fedor just putting on a clinic here. Okay, so just like that, Fedor gets another break. Now, he chooses to play stripes here, so after the break, it's usually open. He plays a 4-10 combination and plays position on this upper stripe in the upper left corner, position on that ball next. Now he does have a little congestion here in the lower left part of the table. There's a couple balls tied up. Now I think he plays this a little different than I would have, and I really appreciate the way that he attacks this. He plays this top stripe, and most of us would use this stripe on the rail after to attack these two balls that are tied up. What he does instead is play back about where he is now and plays position on both balls and chooses the 12 ball with top inside English and brushes the 5 in the other stripe. This is top right English, 2 rails, and then brushes right into those balls, opens them up. Now unfortunately he gets a little bit of a bad roll, but a good roll at the same time. He happens to land in the correct angle where he can pocket this ball and go back into him again. He chooses to attack this with, I believe, top outside, hits the 5 ball, and luckily the 5 ball goes in. If you hit the 5 ball a little thicker, maybe the 5 ball banks 2 rails out of the way and he still has a stripe. So good choice there, good execution. He's trying to figure out what he's going to do on the 8 ball because this is an exhibition match, so he's getting close to the hill. They are trying to make the match close, so it's fun for and entertaining for the viewers. And I really appreciate the approach here and the lack of ego with these players and the way they're attacking this set. But anyway, Fedor decides to leave a 3-rail bank and hits it pretty well, to be honest. I'm a little surprised as to the result here because I thought he made it and it just barely went wide. But Efren steps to the table, has an easy shot in the 7. He jacks up a little bit, plays for the 3 and the 4 ball. Gets good on both balls. Now, it's a little surprising to me because he doesn't take the 3. Instead, he goes and shoots the 4 first and then the 1 ball. And he leaves himself an angle on the 3 to go 4 rails around the 8 ball and play position for the lower solid on the short rail on the bottom of the table. This seems slightly risky to me, but you know, with Efren's knowledge, he just essentially 3 rails it to where he had the chalk and then goes to 4th rail to where he finally put the chalk now. This is pretty natural, but every now and then you could get a funny roll. Maybe you hit a little higher and then you clip off the 8 ball and go in the corner. Maybe actually brush the 8. A lot of things could happen there, but he executes so well it wasn't an issue. So Efren breaks. This time he makes a ball. Of course, there's tons of congestion. What he decides to do is go ahead and play solids here. They're a little bit better, a little bit more favorable. He plays this 6 ball in the lower right corner and then plays the solid, I believe it's the 3 ball, and tries to open up the cluster in the middle by the 8 ball. This is, again, a very high quality execution, understanding what your problems are, trying to address them as quickly as you can, and if possible, addressing them with insurance. Now in this case, when he does play this 3 ball and go into these balls, it's very likely he'll have shape on one of the 2 balls that he plays position off of, or the 1 ball in the upper left corner. This is a good shot. This is top with quite a bit of right, and he hits the ball expecting to get a good result. He hits the 5 eventually into the 11, and he's looking at the 5, but the cue ball's on the rail. He tries it out to see if it's comfortable, and it's not, and he ends up having to shoot the 1 ball instead. Now when he pockets this 1, the table's very new cloth, and it slides very close to the corner pocket. He's able to narrowly miss the corner pocket, but the cue ball goes wide and goes towards the 9 ball instead. So now he's got a steep cut on this 4 ball. Now he pockets this 4 with top left English going towards the 2. Very good shot. He could have tried to a draw, and he chose to top inside, knowing that he was going to hit both balls. Didn't want too much energy on the balls to congest the other balls and attain position on the 2. Now this 2 he's jacked up on. He plays low right, lands perfectly on the 5, but just jars the 2. probably got a little massé because he was jacked up over that other ball and didn't judge quite how much the cue ball was going to swerve on the new cloth. Fedor steps to the table, excited to run out, plays these balls pretty efficiently. Now he's on a stripe here that I'd take that's under the 8. Instead he plays position to it off this lower ball. Good speed control, good angle, perfect position on this shot. He's going to play these other 2 balls, and he plays this last ball, not this ball, but the next ball, a little differently than I expected. He ends up going around the world on this shot. This is center left and plays position for both balls underneath him. I like this approach. He got nicely on this 11. He can play position to the 9 easily. He just slides over, and now he's got natural position on this 9. This is top, maybe a little bit of left English. He's trying to play position for a 4-rail bank to the lower right corner on the 8 ball. So he's going to try to get to the left side of the table and really favoring a line towards the middle diamond on the 8 ball. Okay, that's a good position shot. He's smiling. He's going to go ahead and try this 4-railer for the crowd and for the exhibition. This is a very good effort, and he hits it very well. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite go, and he puts the 5 ball in a precarious position, tying the 5 and 8 up. So Efren's looking this over. He's forced to play a bank combination on the 5, crossing it towards the 2 ball. Now, he's very, very likely to make this ball. He does have to avoid the kiss, but more importantly, the position of the 5 is not a guarantee. And unfortunately, he hits the rail first, then the 2 ball, and the 5 goes towards the middle of the table. Lands in a very awkward position. He could try to cut it in the left corner, very tough. He chooses to bank it in the lower right corner and play position for a bank on the 8, assuming that if he misses, at least Fedor has to bank the 8 to win. But he plays this and gets a pretty good roll. Check this out, guys. Crowd goes wild. Efren gets super lucky. Just like that, Efren makes it 2-4. Fedor's to break. And the 7 ball ends up in a really, really bad spot. Fedor's looking at the table, has to find a solution for the 7, has to start with a tough 4 ball in the upper left corner. This is a great opening shot that he opens up with here. Plays this 4 ball. This is top, touch of inside English or right English. Hits it really sweet, lands on the 6, and is really trying to see if he can play this 6 ball and relieve this problem with the 7 ball. He's looking at it, trying to decide what he's going to do. He ends up evaluating it and deciding to go for the 3 and play position on the 5 to open up those balls instead. This is a brilliant shot. He uses low left, pulls the cue ball to the left side of the table, lands thick enough on the 5 so he can go 2 rails and attack these balls. This is low right, and he's just trying to attack those balls. The reason he left that 6 is because he's got insurance now. So now, regardless of what happens with that cluster, he's guaranteed to have a shot in the 6 almost 90% of the time, maybe even better. Now with the 6 ball, if he can go between the two balls and find the window on the 2, it does go by the stripe, so that's his solution. He plays the 6 with perfect speed, lands in that window with a view, and this rack is also pretty much a foregone conclusion. Now, again, with the exhibition aspect, he's going to play a 3-rail bank on this 8. So he's just going to pocket this ball, float forward, play the ball along the rail, and then try to play the 8 ball, 3 rails. Fedor playing so strong, though. The execution is just very, very high today. Now he's smiling a little and laughing because he hasn't been able to make any of these 3-rail banks. in complete control, though, the rest of the rack. Incredible shooting. Okay, so he calls the lower right corner. Again, just narrowly missing it. Did play a little built-in safety, drawing the cue ball back to the rail. Efren steps to the table and makes a great 14 ball on the side. After pocketing that ball, the rest of the balls are pretty easy, so Efren's just going to make quick work of this. If you guys are in the New York area, I do provide lessons and coaching. Please take a moment to subscribe and like and share the channel if you're enjoying the content. Would love to get some more views on this, guys. Greatly appreciate you. Again, quick shout out to Amsterdam Billiards in New York, located near Union Square. Efren's gonna go ahead and pocket this side pocket shot, play this upper left corner with top inside, and land sweet on this 8 ball, giving himself another beat on his side of the board. Okay, Efren slated to break. Score is currently 4-3 in favor of Fedor. And Efren breaks dry once again, just not having much luck with the break today. Fedor steps to the table. This little cluster in the middle that he's addressing right now is really his main problem. He's just going to attack this ball, play the ball on the right rail, play the lower ball. And Fedor's got to be feeling pretty strong here. He's pocketing everything. The balls are going his way. And all he has to do is just stay in the flow and continue to shoot his natural game. He's going to pocket this ball in the lower right corner. And he's joking around here. I'll let you guys listen to what he says. But he's just going to Z back for this 12 ball and watch what he says. Okay, he says, I got an idea, and he grabs the jump cue, and he's going to try to jump this 8 in. Now, what I commend about Fedor is that since he's been playing all these banks, trying doubling the rail banks, trying 3-row banks, not having any result, what's he going to do? He's going to change, so he's going to try a jump shot. Why not? Okay, so he wasn't quite able to pocket the 8. Now Efren steps to the table and actually plays a really cool shot here. He jacks up a little bit, uses a little bit of left English, and arcs the cue ball to the long rail and then back to the short rail, position on the 4 ball. Real intelligent shot here, attacking that problem ball right away and getting the cue ball to bend over to that long rail by jacking up. Very creative shot there. Probably not as obvious as you would think. From here, he plays position, bumps the 3 ball, or bumps the 8 ball, considers the 3 ball, and considers possibly even the 1 ball. But after evaluating, decides to go for the 6 because there's a built-in safety. Now, playing the 6 ball in the lower left corner, well, whether he makes it or misses it, it's what we call in New York a Stu-way shot. Stu Matana, a little shout out. Always tries to play the percentages and has helped a lot of us with evaluating what the right shot is at the right time. Okay, Fedor went at this double bank, wasn't quite able to put it down. The 8 ball did turn on him and come up short. Probably collision induced, caused that not to bounce true. Efren now, pretty open table, plays this 1 ball, plays it a little thin and actually lands a little funny on this 5 ball. He's going to go ahead and play a great shot here and play the 5 in the corner past the 8. Makes it with ease. Lands pretty fair on the 7. Tries to draw over to the right side of the table, but ends up a little thin and a little far away. Goes ahead and try to put the 3-ball down in the upper left corner, but just a little too random at this point in the set. To keep in the nature of the game, he's going ahead and trying to play a 3-rail bank. Super tough shot here. Okay, now Fedor actually steps to the table and decides to try a 5-rail bank. He hits it so hard that the cue ball jumps off the table quite a bit on this stroke, so he kind of laughs at himself after the delivery. But check this out, this is pretty fun. All right, despite a strong effort, Fedor wasn't able to get the cue ball out of the way to seat the 5-railer rent. So Efren's going to try a 5-railer kick. And isn't quite able to get the contact he needed. Fedor runs to the table, excited to try the shot. He just wants to see if it goes. Sets the cue ball exactly where he wants, plays a stop shot, and without further ado, plays a wonderful 5-rail bank into the upper right corner. What an amazing event, guys. Thanks so much for having me. Thanks for allowing me to do the commentary. Hope you guys had a good time, and I'll see you guys in the next angle. Take care.